Jeff Bezos, the world's richest person, is now an astronaut. The Amazon founder realized a boyhood dream today when he blasted off in his new Shepard rocket from West Texas with 3 other passengers on his company Blue Origin's first commercial flight, which took them to the edge of space. Less than 10 minutes after takeoff, the rocket's capsule separated from its reusable booster, allowing the crew to enjoy a few minutes of weightlessness before parachuting back to the ground. Here's what Bezos had to say shortly after returning to Earth.
I want to thank every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer, because you guys paid for all of this.
Okay, there you have it. Joining us now is Rod Pyle. He is space journalist and author and editor-in-chief of Astra magazine. So, Rod, thanks for being with us. I'm just curious what was going through your mind this morning when you were watching that historic trip that Bezos and 3 of his friends took.
Well, a couple of things. One, and I think this has kind of been rumbling around the press a bit, is if you're of a certain age, you've seen this before. We had suborbital flights back in the 1960s, but those were based on military hardware done by NASA to try and catch up with the Soviet Union. Today was something really new, and last week with Richard Branson was also something new. Branson's rocket plane is a little more like the X-15. This was a little more like some of the early rockets of NASA that go straight up and come straight down. But these are wealthy men who have decided that this country's waited too long to get people into space in a robust and rapidly redoable way, and have just taken it upon themselves to create space tourism as a trade.
So then, Rod, to that point, what do you see really as coming next? How long do you think will it be before, folks like my producer, Nick Robertson, can get to space? Because I hear he's very excited.
Well, it depends on what you're paying him, but it's going to be expensive for a while. But, the longer they do this and the more they put their backs into it, the cheaper it gets. So in the case of Bezos and Blue Origin, he's developed one of the most advanced rocket engines of our time called the BE-3 that powers the rocket you saw today. It'll also be used on the second stage of his larger rocket called the New Glenn. And it's very clean. It's reusable. It can be quickly turned around and flown again. And really rapid reuse and the recyclability of these rockets is what's going to drive this. It just saves a fortune.
Tell us about what we can expect from that other billionaire, Elon Musk, and SpaceX. I know he's got his Starship going to be ready to go in a few weeks. How is that different from what Branson and Bezos are doing?
So Branson and Bezos are both probing suborbital space. Branson got up to a little over 50 miles. Bezos got up to about 65 miles today. Elon Musk has been sending rockets and payloads up into Earth orbit, up anywhere from 150 to 250 miles for almost a decade now. And he's made a routine business out of it. He's captured most of the national and a large chunk of the world's launch market. And Starship, which is his next big effort, is a way to bring down costs by an order of 10. At least that's what he's hoping for. And again, rapid turnaround. And that's a spacecraft that can fly anywhere from 50 to 80 people at a time. So this is a real quantum leap ahead in terms of moving people beyond Earth and into space.
I'm curious to know, Rod, just really quickly, if you think, the live streaming and the filming of these events really makes it more interesting, more palatable, less scary to just the average, American public. Because I myself would never want to get onto any of these rockets. I have way too many fears, but every time I see one of these videos and everything goes okay, I think, all right, maybe one day. Of course, if I get, my money together and Bitcoin does better, perhaps I too will get on one of those spaceships.
Yeah, Dogecoin is going to have to go up a whole lot before I can afford to do that myself. I think it does. It humanizes it. It brings it home. When I was younger, we saw this stuff on movie film that was brought back from space or from the moon. Then we saw a kind of choppy, low resolution video. Now it looks like something that's being shot on, for the most part, on good high def cameras. And we have drones. For instance, when Elon Musk flies his Starship test, we have drones up close showing this thing flipping over and heading back towards Earth. We had some drone use today with the the Blue Origin rocket. So I think you're right. It really does kind of make it seem more achievable and safer to people. It's always going to be dangerous, and there are going to be accidents, hopefully not civilian ones. But, you make these spacecraft as safe as you can, and you just keep flying them again and again until you work out all the bugs, and eventually they'll be as safe as flying an aircraft across country.
Wow,
right,
so much
I'll definitely be waiting for that.
Yeah, so much to look forward to. It was just wild to watch all of that go down live today as well. Rod Pyle, space journalist, editor-in-chief of Ad Astra magazine, thank you so much.